Have you ever been watching over a child and they won't stop crying and you don't know what to do? Not a worry. Everyone has been in this situation, but many have solved it the wrong way. One thing these people don't realize is the dire consequences their actions hold. Stated on Medicine.com, retrieved October 18, 2011, experts estimate that between 1,000 and 1,500 infants have been shaken and diagnosed with shaken baby syndrome, or SBS. Previewed at Dictionary.com, retrieved October 17, 2011, shaken baby syndrome is a fatal condition of abused infants brought on by violent shaking by the arms or shoulders that causes severe internal bleeding, especially around the brain and in the eyes. Along with being aware of the causes and effects of SBS, it is pivotal that we take this information and inform our community about this horrific disorder. Although some people know what causes shaken baby syndrome, they rarely examine the after effects, not only physically but mentally. They also hardly hear the inspiring stories of the victims. Certainly, shaken baby syndrome is a result of a child being vigorously shaken, but nobody really goes into deep context about the condition. Recorded by Don'tShake.org, accessed October 17, 2011, because babies have relatively large heads, taking about 25% of their body weight, their neck muscles are too weak to support their excessively large heads. Due to that fact, if an infant is shook, this causes the brain to rotate within the skull and destroying the brain tissues. During this time, the baby's brains are still at a fragile state and can bounce back and forth inside the skull, leading to bruising, swelling, bleeding, severe brain damage, or even death. Babies' blood vessels are much more easily to be torn than other children or adults, and so when they are shaken, those blood vessels can be torn from the brain, causing internal bleeding. Earlier mentioned on Don'tShake.org, there are several signs and symptoms of SBS. First of all, you must be able to recognize the signs, which include no smiling or vocalization, poor swallowing, difficulty breathing, decreased appetite, bruises, seizures, and the most known sign is a large, unusual soft spot that appears on the forehead or head of the child. Also, the infant may immediately become unconscious, which is a major sign that they may have life-threatening central nervous system dysfunctions. The worst part of SBS is there may be no physical signs at all. Granted, knowing what actually occurs inside the baby's skull is very important, but learning the side effects of what happens is even more vital. Now that you're aware of the actual causes of the abusive head trauma, it is essential to understand the egregious side effects. Recently stated by NIDS.nih.gov, accessed October 17, 2011, the immediate effects of being shaken may include seizures, decreased level of consciousness, vomiting, inability to suck or swallow, or the heart may even stop altogether. Not only are there immediate effects, the long-term consequences are even more horrendous, such as learning disabilities, physical disabilities, blindness, a hearing impairment, cerebral palsy, behavior disorders, lifelong medical care, and death. These difficulties may seem terrible, but the only way to fully comprehend shaken baby syndrome is by listening to the phenomenal success stories of the victims. Now, I could stand here and tell you about the stories that I have only read, but I have a very personal story to share with you. Obtained from lynnsoli.blogspot.com, accessed October 18, 2011, my cousin, Alexis Virzel, was a healthy, cute, loving 14-month-old until April 3, 2008, when her whole life changed within just a matter of seconds. Although no one knows for sure what happened that day, all we know is that Alexis was life-flighted to Temple, Texas, in the most critical condition she could ever be in. Alexis suffered from retinal hemorrhaging and brain swelling, which was later diagnosed as shaken baby syndrome. There was even a point during her flight to Temple, Texas, when the hospital crew transporting Alexis stopped to pray for her because it was expected that she would not survive. But because of the prayers and strength of Alexis, she beat the odds. But her journey had yet to begin when permanent and severe brain damage took her back to the stages of a 2-month-old. Alexis had many struggles the next few months, relearning to walk, talk, eat, and everything else in between at the Madonna Rehabilitation Center in Omaha, Nebraska. It's one of 8 hospitals in the United States that holds both brain injury rehabilitation and pediatric specialty programs. Alexis survived with the help of her family, friends, and the staff at Madonna. Alexis is currently a charming 5-year-old, but still has to live with the effects and consequences of someone else's actions. Even though Alexis is only a 5-year-old, she truly has become an inspiration for many others and myself. As you can tell throughout all the facts, statistics, and anecdotes, it is critical that we bring awareness of SBS to the community. Shaken baby syndrome is becoming even more of a dilemma through a study shown by a number of SBS cases that has been increased from 9.3 cases per month in 2007 to the previous 6 cases per month. So please take your new profound knowledge about SBS to your community and save the lives of thousands of infants.